Um, Now, an above attitude is required. Um, Sometimes in life, man, you may crash out. You may crash out, but you got to go fix it. You know what I'm saying? Most people say you're gonna eat them words. Sometimes you got to be woman and man enough to admit when you're wrong and eat your words. And sometimes the words don't, but I'm gonna show you why you need to have that attitude. Yeah, I understand that you should never um, um, vomit certain words out anyway. You never speak of certain things, but human we are. Human we are. Though sometimes we allow our feelings to get in place, and that's okay. That's okay. Sometimes feelings are feelings, but are you willing to do what's right? What's right is above attitude is required. You know you messed up, right? So let's say you did mess up. Let's say they messed up, and now you want to forgive them, but you don't. We talked about that yesterday. We talked about showing mercy. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to show mercy when you know they're wrong. But when you eventually come around, how do you go on from there when you act out of feelings? You know what I'm saying? The be attitudes is what we're doing. It's how we need to function, how we fix issues, and how we get over this world and all the shutdown, government shutdown, and not receiving benefits. You got to make things happen, right? How do you make things happen? Through Christ, having above attitude. You want to be blessed, right? Not physically blessed, but spiritually blessed. The spiritual blessing is the most, it's the best thing you can have other than the physical blessing. But the church has taught us to think of the physical blessings and that prosperity crap. Spiritual prosperity is what we need to be aiming for. The be attitudes will help you aim that way, and you'll see things just miraculously work for you. Look, go to Matthew's 5. Matthew's 5. I want you to look at verse 9. Starting at verse 9, it said, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God." Verse 10, "Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and you shall say all manner of evil, and they shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake." Not for your sake, not because of what you done, but or what you didn't do, for Jesus Christ's sake. So you can't be lashing out, and you can't be crashing out when it's in Jesus Christ's sake. You gotta hold your peace. Now it's hard to hold your peace when they lash out against you personally. And it's not about Jesus Christ. It's not about how you serve God. It's just about how they don't like what you did or what you said. Now you got to think of how to make sure you're a peacemaker. Listen to this, verse 12. "Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. Now, what do the Beatitudes mean? I've read this every day because I want y'all to understand it's not about what you want physically or need physically. Jesus surprised his disciples by telling them what kind of people would be blessed by God. His list of traits are called the Beatitudes, meaning to bless or to make happy. Now, we've been trying to be blessed ourselves. So, how can we bless somebody else? By making them to make happy. Okay. Look, God, say for instance, you can't pay your light bill, you can't pay your mortgage or whatever, you don't have enough food or whatever, things look bad. I mean, terrible. Like right now, we're in a crisis, a financial crisis with the government, and they shut down. Right? They shut it down. Now it's up to you to feel like to figure out what to do next. Okay. But what we do the blame game. We do the pointing. Then after you get through pointing, what then? Let's say you at home, you get into it with your spouse or something like that. These things are gonna occur. How do you navigate through that? God will bless you to be happy. Blessed means happy, to make happy. God will make you happy through all of that stuff. But you got to know how it works. It's having the attitude. You got to now have an above attitude. You got to get away from ceremonies, traditions, and rituals that conflict with what God has for you and your family. Okay? Look at this. Peacemakers. It says, blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Right? These are people who want peace. They do not stir up fights or arguments. Let me break it down like this. They don't look for a reason to complain or to say bad things about others. I want y'all to understand this, and I don't want people to get in their feelings about this. Just because you want something, right? Just because you want something and someone doesn't give it to you or doesn't agree with it, right? I want y'all to understand this. If you know who you dealing with, if you know who you dealing with, be careful. Don't stir up fights or arguments. Don't stir it up. I don't care. If you've got to have a level of respect, not even for that person, but either for your situation or either for God. That you will not stir up something that you know is going to be stirred up. If you got some wasses outside or somewhere, they're not bothering you. They're not coming to the house. They just in the woods, right? You saw them. And so you tell your kid, look, don't bother those bees. They're fine where they're at. They're not bothering us. Let them do their business. Those honeybees or these bees pollinate the flowers and the trees and everything around. You got to let them do their work, right? Let's say you go over there, your son or daughter goes over there and they say, you know what? I'm gonna throw rocks at it. I know it's gonna make them mad, and I'm gonna run off. How many people have done that to waltzes or bees and got stung? I know I did. Messing around with something that you know can hurt you or can make you feel a certain way. Never stir up bees. Never do that. If you know it's gonna make them mad by throwing a stick and throwing a rock, don't do that. That's not a trait of a peacemaker. I'm just saying, you don't want arguments. They do not look for reason to complain or to say bad things about others. In this day and age, we look for a reason. Like here on TikTok, some people have a reason about why they say what they throw a rock, hide their hand, and they're looking for a response right at that moment. And when they don't get that response right at that moment, they feel some type of way, they move on. Don't stir up complaints that are not true just to come up with something, just to have a reason or to say bad things about others. James 3:18 says, peacemakers who sow in peace reap in harvest of righteousness. Yes, I understand that you want this, not necessarily need it, or you think you need it, and you know it's going to cause a problem. Don't cause a problem. Don't be the problem cause. Sir, don't be the problem causer. I'm not gonna go to my boss and tell him while I'm at work and say, hey man, I'm going back home, find somebody else to do it. What you think gonna happen? He gonna fire me. I can't do that. I'm not gonna stir up trouble. I'm gonna have to work through it. I'm gonna have to be an adult and work through my problems that day while I'm at work. So the next one is, blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Persecuted for righteousness, not for your sake, for righteous sake. These people are teased and harassed, harmed, or bothered by others because they choose to do what is right. Now, sometimes, man, you gotta just eat your words and do what is right. But then sometimes people get it twisted and they say, well, you did what you did. Okay, I did what I did. I apologize. But I'm trying to do what's right. Can you let me do what's right? Some people won't let you do what is right because they have a compelling drawness to be upset, to be in their feelings, and you're not gonna just drop that. But guess what? Be cool. You got to keep your cool. They persecuted Jesus. Why wouldn't they persecute you? For being right. Now look at it. Jesus said, a servant is not greater than his master. If they persecuted me, they will persecute you also. In John 15:20, he said, rejoice in the day and leap for joy. Rejoice in that day and leap for joy, because great is your reward in heaven. You, when you do things that's right, God is with that. The Lord is with that. Okay. When it comes down to the Bible of truth, God is with that. When it comes to disputes between you and another, and you try to be right, and they persecute you for doing the right thing. I wouldn't have done that. Woo, 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 woo. Cool. That's what's right. This attitude, this above attitude we got to have. We got to keep our composure. And sometimes these ceremonies and traditions and rituals have us going, they keep us in a box. And when they keep us in the box, they say, I gotta do this, and I don't care who cares. I don't care how they feel. All I know is what I want, what I need. When you're in that box, them ceremonies, traditions, and rituals, they come out in your day-to-day living. And it shows, because no one is going to go against what you think is right. Sometimes we think our right thinking ain't the right thing. We got to look above to see what's right. And if we don't look above to see what's right, we're going to look to the world. And the world will tell us, hey, they shouldn't be tripping about this. They should be tripping about that. And the world gonna navigate you through life where you always either be by yourself, or you have failed marriages. I've had two of them. Or you got pride. You can't get away your pride until it's too late. Let it be too late for you, people. Let it not be too late. God has happiness for you that comes from above. This happiness that comes from above is the beatitudes that are already here. We have to change our way of thinking so we can see God and we can see Jesus in glory. So look, people, I love y'all, man. Y'all have a blessed day. Man, be safe. It's Friday. It's whatever the heck they wanted to call it. I don't celebrate that. I don't. No, I don't do that. So, I want y'all to be careful, man. Do your holiday, but just be careful that it doesn't affect your above thinking, your above attitude. But always remember, a lie is a lie is a lie. Satan is Satan is Satan. And if you participate in anything involving Satan, then you are a lie when it comes down to being a believer and a non-believer. So I love y'all, man. Y'all have a blessed day. Be safe. May the grace and the peace of our Lord Jesus Christ be with you all. Amen.